Bitcoin is coming up here to these resistance areas. And again, we're probably going to set up a lower high. I could be wrong. Maybe we get a higher high. I guess, and I have the guts to tell you what I think, is we're going to set up a lower high. I was right about the bottom. I was right about the rally. Thought we'd come up into the low to mid 100,000 level, probably between 101 and 105. Well, so far that's happened. Maybe we go a little higher than what I anticipated. Maybe 106, 107, 108. You could get a lower high below 109,000. And I think that we can push a little higher and then come back down to this area right here. And again, that is a double bottom confirmation. The confirmation line here, which is major support right here. Right in here. So again, I think you could pull back towards a 50 period, which again is going to be right there. Now let's take a look at the wave count. Before I do that, again, we're moving to an extreme. Again, we could still see divergence form if we end up trying to go to new highs. That's why I'm telling you, you can speculate and say, hey, it looks like a 5-leg push is going to conclude here in the near future. Looking for one or two. How do I know it's not going to just blow past this area and be, an extended wave 5? And that's why I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to take some profits with my swing trade, shorter term swing trade here, because it's had a 40% rally here, which I caught most of that move. Yeah, well, I believe it's likely going to pull back and peak and pull back. It could keep going. I don't want to lose my core position. Here, MACD turning back up, and we'll see. Do we end up seeing this roll back over in the next few days here? I think that you're going to peak again Friday or over the weekend or on into early next week. I think that Bitcoin is going to peak and begin to pull back. I could be wrong, but I have the guts to tell you what I think. Again, I told you my last update, I thought we had wave 4. I was right. Okay, and I told you I thought we were going to have a big surge up. I was right. I think we had intermediate wave 4 over here. We're now in intermediate wave 5, and I think we're carving out our first wave here. Now, again, I think you're going to end up forming a divergence here as we're doing already, or form a divergence right in the recent price action and end up seeing that. We're at extremes. So, again, do we see a divergence like that develop here in the next few days? Do we, come up here and then go like that into the weekend or over into early next week, and then we see the peak like that? I don't know. A couple of different ways it can unfold, but again, I believe that we have what's likely a 1, a 2. This is probably a 3. We'll probably get a 4, and then we'll probably get a 5. So that's what I think is going on in this push higher for wave 5 right here. I've marked it up here, but it could be lower. But I'm just getting things out of the way in case we go higher here on Friday. Double bottom and our confirmation line. And again, look where the 200 period is. I think you're going to pull back to the 50 period in the daily, okay, which is going to be around the confirmation line and the 200 here. And we're probably going to pull back to these levels. I guarantee I'm right about that. I have the guts to tell you what I think. I was right about the bottom. I was right about the rally, right about the double bottom pattern. They were going to get a pullback for wave 2. Forming this massive divergence. We might see one form in the recent price action like we did back over here. And again, in a little topping process up here, we could see this be wave 3, pull back at wave 4 and 5, and see a little divergence develop right in here on the MACD and on the RSI. What I think's going on? Signal's just nailing it. Just quickly, this is what I think is going on. I think you have your wave 1, minor wave 1 here, intermediate wave 4 completed here. This whole thing's going to be intermediate wave 5. I think you're going to end up finishing the wave count here for minor wave 1. You're going to pull back and get a wave 2, likely to backtest a breakout, the double bottom, and then the next move is going to be the big one. You're going to get the wave 3 and on into, whoop, that didn't work. Sorry about that. Wave 3 and then 4 and 5. And I think this is going to take you closer to 160,000, 170, 175,000, probably above 150,000. Then I think Bitcoin's going to top. I'm bullish now, but up there I'm going to be extremely bearish. Here it is on the weekly, real fast. Don't lose sight of the big picture. I think you're going to complete 1 here. Then I think you're going to get 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, all the way up into this trend line. Again, a number's not my target. A date is not my target. Now I can go tell you, okay, if we rise to this in the summer Earlier in the summer, it'll be lower. If we go into August or September or something, then Bitcoin will be higher, closer to 170,000. 175,000 maybe, or something like that. Not my target. A date is not my target. I'm just telling you, I'm looking for a 5-leg push higher into this upper channel line, and then I think Bitcoin's going to top, and it's going to collapse after that. And again, you're going to get a 50% drop very quickly like we did in 2021. Once Bitcoin peaks, it is going to peak because we're going to price in the recession. Recession is coming. The summer or on into the fall, you're going to have tensions in the Middle East. There's going to be concerns about a regional war between States and Israel and Iran. War 3, and all of a sudden, it's going to rattle the markets, and it's going to rattle Bitcoin big time. All coming down the pike. You're going to have the recession on top of it, and it's going to make the drop that we just had of 32%. This drop over here at 33%, it's going to make it look like a picnic because you're going to get a 50%. When we peaked in 2021, in 2 months or so, you dropped 52%. Make this look like nothing. We might form a very large head and shoulders pattern with the left shoulder being complete here and the head formation, and then get something like the head and shoulders pattern setting up. I am the bull of the bulls right now. Up here, I'm going to be the bear of the bears. Extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Great opportunities down here. Great opportunities locking gains. But again, Moon Boys won't do it. The herd won't do it. The institutions will. The BlackRocks will. Going to see people ride it all the way back down. This is where I'm going to flip the trade and take profits and flip the trade, just so you know. It's a plan, Stan. Woo, doggy. Right on, right on, right on. Bitcoin doing exactly what I predicted it would do. Back at the bottom at 74,000. It has now surged. It's up about 40% off of the lows. We'll take the exact measurement in just a moment. Just know we're coming into some resistance here. Again, told you we were going to get this push up to levels above 100,000. Told you that we would likely move up to somewhere between 101,000 to 105,000. We may go higher than that. But I think you're going to get a lower high, lower than the 109,000 peak over here at the January peak. You had 108,000 over here at the December high, and I think you're going to see a peak in here. Now, still may go higher. We may get a doji and a topping tail, something like what we had over here, a doji or this topping tail over here. We may see that happen. We fall by a reversal. That can happen. That can happen tomorrow. That can happen going into the weekend or on into early next week. Because what's likely going to happen is we're going to get this deal meeting, these trade talks between the U.S. and China in Switzerland. I guess there's going to see some kind of pullback surrounding that. And maybe later next week or the following week, we'll see formal negotiations announced. Trump will do the de-escalation day and use the tariffs, pause them, put in place, and likely reduce them. Now that he goes down to 10% like the other countries. Kind of did retaliatory tariffs, other countries didn't. Playing a lot of games, making demands that the United States has to lower the tariffs in order for them to come to the negotiate. Why didn't they just call up the White House and say we want to make a negotiations? I mean, it's so simple. Playing a bunch of games. I don't know. And remember the 2018 and 19, the negotiations, a deal, and they didn't keep any of it. It was a bunch of paper. I don't know that the United States lowers it all the way down to other countries like 10%, but Trump could greatly reduce it down to 50% or 40% or something like that. May go down to what he did with other countries, but I don't know, because China has been very uncooperative. You're probably going to see a massive de-escalation day after we get the next pullback. I think, like right now, we just had this deal with the UK. Media's doing what they always do. They're running it down. Oh, no, that's terrible, terrible. Oh, this is a terrible deal. And again, trying to make it, the people that told us there were going to be no deals, the people that told us no one's going to negotiate, the people that told us we were just going to get the tariffs and see the economy collapse and that's it. You know, they've been wrong on everything that they've said. Every single thing the media told us was going to happen. The complete opposite has happened. They told us China wasn't going to come to the negotiating table. They don't need the United States. And I mean, then the bears are echoing everything they say. Herd, saying similar things, getting very bearish at the bottom. Yet here, look, Bitcoin, it dropped 32%. It's now up 40%. Hello? Time to get a reality check. I'm telling you, again, the media, they're probably going to get this meeting in Switzerland, and the Treasury Secretary and the trade representative is going to be there, and counterparts. So you're probably going to get this meeting. The media will play, oh, nothing's going to happen. No, nothing's going to happen. You'll probably see Bitcoin peak out. Maybe it gets a doji up here, and maybe we begin to peak out and pull back, okay? And this assumes that wave one is done, and that we're going to get a lower high. And again, we may go even higher than what I said, above 105,000, but I think you're going to get a lower high than 109,000. Maybe we pull back to the breakout point of the double bottom pattern that, again, I told you formed down here at the bottom. Oh, remember 74,000? The bears were telling us we're about to crash. The media was telling us we're about to have go into the next Great Depression, and we're going to see Bitcoin and the stock market crash. Remember all that? And I told you we were bottoming. And I told you we had a bottoming signal on the 7th, the day of the bottom, and on the 9th, bottoming signals. Look at the historic rally before the historic rally. My signals, which are correct, nailed it. Up Bitcoin's average price, which I told you major support was at 74,000. The bears told us this rally wasn't going to happen. I told you it would. The bears told us we were going to collapse, and the media told us we were going to collapse. I told you we were bottoming. Tariffs, the sell the rumor, buy the news event. It's correct. But again, we're going to complete wave one here, in my opinion, up in this area. And then I think you're going to pull back. And maybe it's not as deep as this. Maybe it's more shallow. But likely, I think you're going to pull back into this 88,500 area. Could get something deeper, but that would mean we go down into this area into getting a 61.8 or 78.6 Fibonacci. My guess is that's likely not going to be the case. But then I think you're going to get this pullback. And then I think Bitcoin is going to explode higher, make new highs. But I think you're going to get this building of momentum. Now, in the video today, I made one yesterday, but I'm making a video today. We got the move that I've been predicting would happen now. We are kind of drifting sideways, getting a little choppiness, but I told you we're going to get another pump higher, but I think it's going to end soon, the next few days, a weekend or on into early next week, or maybe tomorrow, possibly tomorrow. But we could still go higher. Again, maybe we see something like a doji or a topping tail, and again, get a quick reversal like this, or hang out here for a little while and then begin to reverse. Whichever way it plays out, I think you're going to get this pullback. Now again, listen to me. I am not Nostradamus. I am a trader. I look at support and resistance. Trader, mind you, that has excellent indicators that called this whole thing. As good as my indicators are, I can only look at support and resistance. I do not know the future. I'm not Nostradamus. I tell you, again, the support levels here. We're going to pull back to the 50-period moving average. That's what happened at the last time. At the death cross, the 50 eventually got back above the 200, but we pulled back to the 50. I'm going to take you back to the previous low at 49,000 in August, a higher low in September, when we had that September push higher. Okay, we pushed above this level right here, back above the 200-period moving average. We're above it right now. Now, we didn't get much above it over here. I'm well beyond it right now with our current price action. But as what happened is we had the death cross right here, and we got this, choppiness, rally, sell-off, rally, and then we pull back. And look where we pull back to. This is the 50-period moving average. Pull back to that 50-period moving average, and you found support, and then you got back above the 200, and the 50 eventually got back above the 200. You're going to see something very similar to this. Now, we've had a breathtaking 40% rally or so, just under 40% rally. You're likely going to get a pullback. Nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. Look at the choppiness here at the bottom. So I think you're going to pull back to the 50-period moving average, which is at the horizontal support right now, and of our double bottom, our confirmation line. So that's what I think is going to happen. Zoom out here, you can see that after that happened, after we pulled back to that 50, we went and we broke out and we moved to new highs. We cleared this area and we the downward trend line. We've already broken our downward trend line with the bull flag. Our current rally, I should say. But I think you're going to bounce off this 50 and then get above it. You're going to start going parabolic, and you're going to see this bullish golden cross. And again, it's going to be a spectacular run up. Bitcoin's likely going to go towards 150 to 175,000 or so. It's going to do it quickly. It's likely going to happen over the summer or on into the fall. You're going to probably see the next 3 or 4 months Bitcoin rise up towards 150 to 175,000 dollars and then top out. Be a spectacular. It's going to double, like I keep saying, from this 74,000 area, at least double to 150,000. We very well may go beyond that into 160, 170, 175,000 to reach my target level, my trend line. But absolutely incredible move here. We're likely going to pull back to the 50 as eventually it's going to try to get back above the 200. So I think you're going to come back into this area here in all likelihood. I could be completely wrong on that because, like I said, I don't know the future. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just a trader who has better indicators than anybody else. Saying things that make more sense than anything else out there being said. Calling a bottom when everybody's saying Bitcoin's about to crash. Predicting a massive rally up when everybody's saying, no, we're going to crash. Right on the tariffs. Getting it right on the negotiations when the media and the bears told us the opposite would happen. Getting it right on China. It's not rocket science. You know, you got all these Kool-Aid drinkers believing the media, like right now, how bad this deal is. And we're going to have all these deals coming, which they told us was not going to happen. And so they have to, it wasn't going to happen. China wasn't going to meet with the United States, and it was over. We're going into the next Great Depression. I mean, these people in the media are absolutely incredible. And again, the bears are drinking their Kool-Aid, the herd drinking their Kool-Aid. Great opportunities, as I talked about down here at the 200 period and Bitcoin's average price. People pile in at the top. When I call the top over here, I call the very day of the top here and the very day of the top here when we hit a major trend line of resistance in the weekly time frame. Told you over here, this was major support. We might have a bottom over here. We couldn't get the reversal. And we turned back down and we came back and tested this low. And I told you 74,000 is major support. Likely going to see a bottom here, and we bottomed out. And I had several actually bottoming signals, but I had bottoming signals on the 7th and on the 9th. Nevertheless, I digress. Oh, one other thing, I started building my position when we tagged the 200 period moving average, nibbled on it just a little bit, and then we had these drops here and over here. I talked about these bottoms at the time, and again, great. My signals are amazing. Don't watch the videos all the way through, you're missing it. Told you we might have a bottom here, tried to rally back up, failed, and I told you to be watching the 74,000 area, the 50-week moving average, Bitcoin's average price, and again, added my position. So again, building the position down here and over at this low and over at this low, and then initially when we hit that 200 period moving average. So again, absolutely great opportunities. I'm doing two things. I have a longer term position that I'm going to hold all the way up, Bitcoin, and I have the Bitcoin ETF. I'm going to ride longer term swing move all the way up. Here in the next day or 2 or 3, I'm going to be selling my shorter term position. I loaded up down here. The herd was freaking out when the bears were telling us we're about to collapse and the media told us we were going into the next Great Depression. I was loading my Bitcoin position. Had a rise of nearly 40%. So, part of my position, trying to play the shorter term swing moves. The massive position. So part of it is just short-term swing. So I'm going to try. But what if I'm wrong? What if I sell into the rally? What if I've sold all my position and Bitcoin just keeps going? You see what I'm saying? I don't know the future. I'm just basing this. This looks like a 5-wave impulsive to me. So my strategy is my longer-term position that I'm going to ride over over the next couple of months here. I think we're likely going to peak probably sometime between July and September, maybe October, but I think more likely we're going to see Bitcoin peak probably in August or September. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's when I think we're going to get the emergency cuts out of the Fed. The rally's now. And I just commented. Somebody made commented on, oh well, yeah, now we're going to get the rate cuts, and then we're going to go. Bitcoin's going to go now. The market's going to go now. When we get the rate cuts, the market will have already peaked. Bitcoin will have already peaked, and we're going to come down. The rate cuts are bearish. They're going to be doing it because they're pricing in the next recession. Just to let you know, again, I have a position that I'm, not going to let go of until we reach my objective target. But I do have shorter term positions. Just trying to play the swing move. And again, we've had a 40% rise here on Bitcoin. I caught the majority of that move. Again, I'm going to be looking to sell my swing trade, my short-term swing trade, but not my core Bitcoin longer-term position. Plan on holding for several months. Get up when I'm throwing down. So just letting you know, I'm going to be taking a position here, and I'll try to buy it back down here somewhere near the 50-period moving average, because historically that's what happens. My core position, I'm doing nothing. Okay, I even though I expect a pullback, I do nothing. So just to let you know, my trading strategy there, I have two separate things going on. One, the short-term swing move. One, the longer-term swing move that will be over several months. Pop higher, a doji or something, or a topping tail, something like what we had over at these peaks or these bottoms down over here. Do you see this? These bottoming tails, these topping tails at the top. If we go, and that's what makes me think we're not done yet, because this is like not a topping tail. It's like little tiny wick there, but not much. Big wide range bar. So you can get a doji, you can get a spinning top. I still think we go higher, closer to this level. Reached 104,000. About the 101,000 to 105,000 area. Maybe we go a little bit higher than I think. Maybe we go up to 105, 106, 107, something like that. I'm going to be selling in the next couple of days here for my short-term swing trade. Going to hold my core position. So I want to make sure you understand that. I am not closing out my position altogether, because I could be wrong. What if we just blow right past this area? Now, it looks like a 5-leg impulse to me. It looks like it's coming to a conclusion to me, and we're probably going to go a little higher. I don't know the future. I'm telling you that I don't want to close out my entire position, including my core position, because I don't want the rally up to continue and to go, try to chase Bitcoin. Again, this is the area that I was looking at my wave one to complete, and I think that is going to be correct. Take a look at my amazing indicators. And I'm making this video today. I'm not going to be able to make a video tomorrow. I'll be making a video on Saturday morning. Just making a video so again, I'm going to be looking to lock in some gains. I'm going to be looking for a short-term top to form. Again, they told us the rally was never going to happen. We're going to crash down here. They're probably going to buy another top up here. They're getting all excited. Oh, here comes Bitcoin. Here it goes. Here it goes. And we're likely going to see a pullback happen. Again, it's not very wise after a 40% rise in 4 weeks. 4 weeks ago we were down here, 4 weeks straight. Now we're up here, 40% higher. Bitcoin has sharp increase. The herd, they love to buy tops over here and over here. They piled in, and then they sell down at the bottom. That's what the herd does. So again, my signals, two of my signals, I had other signals, but here I got a bottoming signal on the 7th. I got another bottoming signal on the 9th right there. Before the rally ever started, those signals showed up. Then we got the rally later that morning when President Trump paused the tariffs, the reciprocal tariffs on the launch day. My signals, which are correct, proven to be correct 97.1% of the time. This move, I think that percentage is likely to rise, probably closer to 98%. I have good indicators. Nevertheless, I digress again. Look, we had these beautiful, beautiful signals. We saw the bars begin to turn green right here before the breakout. Told you about all that. Told you about my signals. And then we had the breakout of the bull flag here. This other trend line from this high right here, including the shadows right there, to this level right here. We broke that trend line, and that was the breakout right there. Talked about all of this would have happened. Do you see all the green now? Told you right here that we are going to get a pullback. That was correct. We got a warning here that it was going to happen. It happened. We got another warning here. It was going to happen. It happened. We pulled back. This is when I was told by one of the bears that Bitcoin's collapsing now. Are you kidding me? Bitcoin had risen 32.5% and it pulled back a little tiny bit. And then we get this big surge up. Now it's up nearly 40%. Hello? People, the perma bears are out of touch with reality. But we had these warning signs. They were correct. Now we're getting the warning sign here, and it may not be done. This doesn't mean that the top is in and it's over. Again, the signal, we could still go higher, and we may see a couple of signals like this, maybe just one signal. We're getting something over here like what we had over here. We had this warning sign, we had some volatility, and then we went up and we made new highs, and then we got it. Now here, it was the reversal bar that marked it. It doesn't always play out that way. Over here, we had a peak bar that did it, and again, another peak bar. The reversal bar didn't get it over here. It plays out differently every time. Had the bottom signals mark the bottom. So again, telling you, hey, prices are very, very tired. This is, again, showing the turns in momentum, but often they mark the tops and bottoms. The top over here, the bottoms over here. Again, perfect. Those when price exhaustion takes place, and we're seeing that here. So you're likely going to get a top here, probably go a little bit higher. Wouldn't be surprised to see a doji. Wouldn't be surprised to see go up and get a topping tail or a doji or a shooting star. Maybe we get it right here and we go up and we get a topping tail and we get a shooting star candlestick. Shooting star looks like this. You get this real body, and then you get this big wide wick above it, and it's a topping tail. Now again, even though I expect a pullback, again, I don't want to lose my position, my core position. Again, it's okay to swing trade shorter term positions, doing that separately. Core position accumulated at the bottom, and these lows over here, we first tagged the 200 period moving average. I don't want to lose my core position. That's also the areas where I took my swing position. That is just something I'm doing, playing back and forth, just trying to swing moves, the shorter term swing moves, and having some fun. Again, we're up 39, almost 40%, 39.89%. We could go up above 40% still, but we did hit my target, which was 104,000 now. I was looking for a move to 101 to 104,000. Maybe that's it, but I still think you're going to dance around this area a little bit, maybe even go higher. I think more likely you're going to go higher, but then I think you're going to reverse. Come all the way back down in all likelihood. I could be completely wrong about that. Historically, you get above the 200 period moving average, the black line here, you come back to the 50 period, which is not seen on this chart, which we just looked at a moment ago. Just wanted to make you aware, the signals are showing up. This doesn't mean the top is in yet, but it's saying, hey, it could happen on Friday or over the weekend or on into early next week. I told you we were likely going to move above the upper Bollinger Band. Oh, gee, surprise, surprise, what happened? We moved above the upper Bollinger Band. I was right. I think you're going to see something like this very soon where we reverse off of the upper Bollinger Band. Don't have a topping signal yet, again, causing me to think that, hey, maybe we do see a topping tail closer to this peak over here. I talked about the 101 to 105,000 area. Maybe we go higher than I thought. Maybe it's 106, 107. Hey, I'll take it. More money. I'm telling you, I haven't sold yet, but I'm planning to. Okay, on my short-term swing position. Look at my signals. Absolutely incredible. Look, we had the bottoming signal here as well. And I talked about these bottoming signals. This was the day of the bottom. I told you about that signal, like I told you about the topping signals. Again, absolutely incredible signals. We got this warning sign right here that we were going to have some volatility. Guess what? Oh, we had some volatility. It was correct. But look at the signal. The trend signal is bullish. You got the line blue. You got this line with the circles, still blue. We're probably going to come up here, top out, and then come back and probably come back and move to test support. Maybe we get a deeper retracement than what I'm expecting. I'll show you the Fibonacci's in just a second. But I'm looking for a topping tail up in here, and like I said, I'm gonna, if we go up into that 105, 600, 7,000 level, selling my swing position, but not my core position. I'm gonna hold that longer. I'm going to try to buy it back, my swing position back down here at one of the Fibonacci's or horizontal support, as I've been saying. Just in the swings, man. it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. That's a song by Duke Ellington. Look it up. Now, if these signals have benefited you as much as they have benefited me, please consider supporting the channel. You know, I just put it all out there for free and just ask that you do what you can to help out. I don't want to sell you a bunch of stuff. I just want to share with you my charts and share with you my indicators. It takes a long time to do this. YouTube channels make their money by sponsors. I don't want to waste your time trying to sell you something you don't need. If you could just moment, and if this has helped you, take a moment, follow the link below and support the channel. I know you want this information, that you like this information, that you want it and you find it useful. Let me know you want me to do this rather than go out and play golf. You could take a moment to help out. I would appreciate that. Most YouTube channels use sponsors. I choose not to do that. So if you could take a moment, anything helps. Just follow the link below to take you to a secured site and you could donate any amount you want. It'd really be encouraging to hear from you. Let me know that these signals are helping. This is life-changing stuff here, you know. Just had a move of 40%. Absolutely incredible. So I thank you for your consideration for that. And my next video will be Saturday. I'm doing a video here right now. Started the Friday session. We may see other signals on Friday or Saturday, so we'll be watching that. Right here, there's nothing yet, but I'll be watching. We do have it on the other chart I just showed you, a warning sign that maybe a top is about to form. I think it is. I think we're probably going to go higher. Watching for a topping tail. I'll be watching for a reversal bar. I told you here, again, we had this bearish signal. It was right. We had volatility, but then we got the bullish signal before this bar right here. Right here we had at this bar, this bullish signal. And now we get this massive rally. We were up 6.5% or so for the Thursday session. We'll see if it can continue. But again, I am going to be looking for a top. And again, no topping signal yet. You know, we didn't get a bottoming signal here. We got one over here. Got one over here for the short term. We got it over here, up these topping signals up here. It may not show up, but many, many times it does. I'm just telling you, I expect that we're going to peak Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. I think in the next couple of days, and it might be sooner rather than later, might be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday that we see a peak. And again, I think that if we get disappointment about the talks, media is going to try to convince us that, oh, no, it's not going to happen. People have told us the talks weren't even going to take place. And we'll see formal negotiations happen. How do I know that's going to happen? How do I know that? It happened before in 2018 and 19. It happened in other countries. I know that China's, it's not being reported in the United States, but their economy is collapsing. They have protests in the streets. It's doing everything in their power to cover this up. They're telling us the United States is moving into the next depression. We're not. It's China that is. The economy is falling off the rails there. Manufacturing contracted, nearly a 2-year low. Had to inject liquidity. They're falling apart. The banks are losing money. About to lose 16 million jobs. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Have to come to the negotiating table. So I think you get a pullback, and then I think in the next week or two or something we see them come to the negotiating table. We see the tariffs end up getting reduced. That will take Bitcoin to new highs in all likelihood. Maybe some other catalyst, but again, that's certainly a possibility. Call it de-escalation day. And by the way, Bitcoin was up 6.40% to close out on Thursday there. But again, look right here. Again, we had the bottoming signals, and then we saw momentum signals change, trend signals change. We saw the bar turn blue here, right here. And again, they're blue bars. Eventually, it's going to flip back to red, all likelihood when we get some kind of pullback. But my signals nailed the bottom. I told you a divergence was likely going to form here and on some of my indicators. So again, I'll be watching. Warning sign here that to expect some volatility. That was correct. We'll see if we get another signal. It doesn't always appear at every top and bottom. But again, it's just looking at short-term momentum, my signals. And again, a lot of times, these signals with momentum, they mark bottoms or they mark tops very nicely. Counter trends in the case here, or again, the counter trend over and to resume the decline. Short-term bottom. So again, does a pretty good job. No signal here yet. We'll see if we get one. The signals absolutely nailed the bottom, nailed the reversal, and again, this run up higher. So we'll be watching to see if we get a top here in the area that I'm looking at under 109,000 pullback. So I'll be watching for any signs of a reversal, but here again, marking the breakout. Beautiful signals. Momentum turned first and then the trend turned. Beautiful, beautiful signals. And signals all blue, green, and again, we've had this run up of nearly 40%. At some point, we're going to get a pullback. I think it's going to be in the next few days. We're going to peak and begin a pullback. Now, after being up 6.40%, Bitcoin slightly lower at the moment, down 0.37%. Again, we could still exceed this level and go higher. But I marked the Fibonacci's here. I told you I was watching, and I've just marked it from our recent high right here. I was talking about the 103 to 105,000 area. Here we had 104,000 and some change. We peak, and we're probably going to go a little bit higher. See some stuff like what we had over here at these topping tails. 50% retracement from this level takes us back to guess where? Peak of Stink and Boo. Look at that right there, 88,074. I told you the neckliner here, the 88,500, 600 area, and again, that's where I think we're likely going to move back to. That is the double bottom breakout confirmation line. And I think we're going to end up moving back there. So if we go a little higher, and let me just lift this up. If we go up to the 106,000 area, say, then again, you're coming right back to this 50% retracement. If it's a little bit lower than that, well, then maybe we exclude the shadow like I was mentioning a moment ago. But that's going to take you to this mid-88,000 area or so. I could be completely wrong about that. But I'm just telling you, again, when we peak, I'm looking at the Fibonacci's. You know, coming down, and let me just bring this up so you can see, coming down to the 78.6 Fibonacci or 61 point Fibonacci, that's possible down to these levels if we try to get a back test of the breakout of the trend line. If we try to throw back towards it, certainly possible. If you come on down deep, I don't think we do that. I really don't. I think you're going to get an ABC move, and I think we'll probably go a little higher. I think you're going to get an A and a B and a C, and I think it's going to come down here, and maybe it's quicker than that. Maybe it's A, B, C, maybe it's really fast, and then we begin to soar. I can even be wrong about a 50% retracement. Maybe we only go down to the 38.2 fib at 92,006, just 650 or so, 680. Regardless, at some point we've had a nearly 40% rise, could go higher, but at some point you're going to get a pullback for wave 2. In my opinion, I think we have a 5-leg push higher. The Fibonacci retracements and incredible signals. Oh, gee, all the way down, nailed it. Got the reversal with the breakout just before the breakout right there with this other trend line, and absolutely nailed it.